Pyschadelicsnake 70% off. Morrowind 75% off. Great game. Love that game. Used to play it a lot when I was a kid. I remember when I finally got full Daedric. Oh my days. Full Daedric in that game. And you got to go get those like the unique rare items, like what was it, the mask of, oh, I forget what it was. I want to say I can't remember the name fully, but it went something like Claviscus Veil or Veil or something like that. It was such a good mask. And you had this this chest piece that belonged to this naked dude underground. It was this really good chest piece. Better than the Daedric one. It was awesome, man. Picked it up and like, yes! I think there was these boots that made you jump really high or make you run really fast. I forget as well. Something like that. No way! Did I actually get it? Do I remember that? Clavicus Vial? I'm gonna Google it if I remember that. Oh my god, that's like mad years ago, man. Mad years ago. Mask of Oh, it's in Skyrim as well? No. Morrowind. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what it was. What did it do? What was its special things again? Oh man. Wow. It's been so long since I've played that game. Oh man. Yeah, the one with the horns, yeah. Have I finished Morrowind? Yeah, I finished it when I was back in high school. Hold on, I'm just calculating the year I was in high school when I finished and my age. I was in year year 8, I think. And when I was in year 8, I was 13. I completed Morrowind when I was 13. It was really fun. I remember just spending tons of hours on that game, man. I had the CD, what was it? The CD Game of the Year edition came with Tribunal and Blood Moon expansion packs. Shit was so fucking cool, man. I remember going traveling to Blood Moon, like, whoa, what is this awesome land? You get that ring that turns you into a werewolf once you complete the storyline there. I was like, yeah, boy. And you find that scamp merchant, and I want to say, was there a mud crab merchant? I think it was a scamp merchant. Anyway, he sold stuff for really good value, for the actual value. He was trying to tip you off or anything. He wasn't trying to rip you off or anything like that. It was a really good place to sell stuff to. And when you went to sleep when you installed the Tribunal expansion pack, you constantly had these what are they called? Those assassins from that one order. I forget what it's called. Anyway, they come for you in your sleep and stuff. And I think they always had this leather armor that went for I think it was 2.5K, something like that. But they always had an ebony throwing knife as well that went for some good cash too. So you just always take that to the scamp, just sell it to him. Yeah, the scamp or the mud crab, and then you just get max price. It wasn't stupid amount of percentage. You got max price. Dark Brotherhood, that was it. Dark Brotherhood. And because you couldn't join the Dark Brotherhood when you were in Morrowind. It was more of a, why did Dark Brotherhood try to kill me sort of thing. And Morrowind was the Elder Scrolls game I played the most. So I didn't play Oblivion or Skyrim that much. I completed Oblivion, never completed Skyrim, just never got round to it. My interest in it kind of diminished quickly. But Morrowind, man, I was in love with that, and I had this constant setup going. I know it might be a bit intense, but for those of you who played Morrowind a lot, you probably get what I'm on about. Get this spell called Summon Golden Saint, and I think they had like the most valuable souls, the most purest of souls, or something like that. Highest rated souls, and you got, what was it, like Grand Soul Gem, an empty Grand Soul Gem. So you'd summon the Golden Saint, and then you'd cast that kind of that soul sucking ability, and then you kill the Saint real quick, and then you get a Grand Soul Gem that had the Golden Saint's soul in it. And what that meant was that you could use that then for like the best enchants on your armor and stuff. And I was, oh man, I just had the setup going, son. You know, I had the fucking Mudcrab Scamp thing going. I had that Summon Golden Saint thing going. It was just boom, boom, boom. It was so good. It was a game that really rewarded the amount of time you put into it, man. I loved it. Loved Morrowind. I haven't played it in mad time though. So I'd probably be crap at it now after all those years. And I remember the leveling system. You remember the leveling system in Morrowind when you had to take note of like all the things that you were consciously leveling up. You couldn't be careless with your leveling up, otherwise you'd break your character. It would be flawed. So you had to like be like, okay, I'm gonna train 10 in sword, and that will give me fucking the +5 strength bonus or something like that. So you'd have the three +5 strength bonuses or something like that every time you rest to level up. Oh man, that was insane. I had like a piece of paper and I was like just writing down like, okay, I leveled up my block 7 times. Okay, so I need to be careful not to jump too much because I don't want to level up my athletics. So no, what was it? Would that be under speed? No, acrobatics when it was jumping. Don't want to have that go into speed or something. So I don't want to be leveling speed just yet. It was so crazy. Oh, there was just so much thinking with that game, and that's what I loved about it. Games back then, you kind of had to be conscious of things a lot more, because with the quests in Morrowind as well, you'd read about them. You'd have this journal that had like an extensive description on the quest. It says I have to go to here, or it would just describe a place, and you'd have to be like, that sounds like it could be here, here, here. Or so you'd just go adventuring, traveling, and then you'd see if it's there or not. You know, it wasn't just a big map marker saying go there. You know, so you just kind of run, and you just focusing on the map marker at the bottom of the screen being in the middle. So it's like, yeah, I'm going in the right direction. Yeah, there was none of that. It was complete. You know, interpretation and having to deduct stuff. It was really cool. Really liked that about the game. But yeah. I'm not saying Skyrim or Oblivion's shit or anything. I know a lot of people enjoy it. Just when I think Elder Scrolls, I think Morrowind. When I think Morrowind, I'm like, whoa, yeah. That was an adventure. Will I get Bayonetta 2 next year? Yeah, man. I need a reason to have a Wii U. You know what I mean? I haven't really turned it on for a long time. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I got introduced to Morrowind through a friend at high school. I went round his house once and he was playing it. And he had full ebony on. It looked super cool. It was black and gold trim. And I was like, whoa, that looks cool. And I was like, man, what's this game? He goes, it's called Morrowind. And I was like, what do you do in it? He goes, oh no, you just kind of go through caves and stuff and do quests for like fighters guilds and stuff. I was like, oh man, sounds badass. Anyway, I saved up some money, went to PC World, and bought the Game of the Year edition. He had a pirated version, and it was just the main game. I had the legit complete edition with all the expansion packs. So when he saw that, I was like, whoa, you can turn to a werewolf? I was like, yeah, man, you can turn to a werewolf. And then he got on that. He pirated the Game of the Year edition. I didn't even know what pirating meant back then, you know. I was still kind of naive to things like that. I was like, what do you mean you can get games for free? You know? I was like, I don't get that. And every time he said pirate, I literally pictured a pirate. So I never really understood it. I was just like, so you're a pirate and you get free games? What? I never got it, never understood it. But yeah. I think he must have thought I was like retarded or something. But I knew my Morrowind, man, so he was okay with it. Cool. Yeah, I never played the Elder Scrolls 1 or 2. Like I said, I was introduced to Elder Scrolls through 3 with Morrowind, and then played that, fell in love with it, son. I remember when you know, when you walk straight out of, I think the place that you start off is called Seydanine, something like that. You start off in Seydanine, and I think like the first town you head into is like just up north, and I think it's called Balmora, something like that. You got that Silt Strider up there that can fast travel to stuff. Anyway, start off in Seydanine, you head up north a little bit, and as you go up north, you hear this "aye" and stuff. Like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden you just hear this crunch. This wood elf just goes bang, hits the floor, and he's just dead on. It's like, what? What just happened? Anyway, look at his body, read his book, and he's going on about how he's got these divine intervention scrolls and how they make you go really fucking far and stuff. And I was like, right. And I saw he had some. Picked up the scroll, put on his blue robe and that little gay yellow hat, put that on, and I thought, wow, yeah, I got me some armor, son. I saw this sword and stuff, and had like some really crappy magic. I think it was like, yeah, do 1 to 5 lightning damage on hit, you know? So I was like, oh wow, I've got this really awesome rare sword. It was back when I was young, and you know, stuff like that was like super awesome. Picked up, I was like, whoa, no way, I'm kid out, son. I got these scrolls and stuff. So what is it? And I read the scrolls, and it's like, increase acrobatics by like 1,000. All I saw was that fucking increase by 1,000, man. So I was like, no way. So I readied up my hands, you know, scroll intact. Boom! I casted it. And I was like, okay, what do I do now? I guess I just jump. So I was running, I jumped, and went poof. I took off like a rocket, man. I was flying in the air. It's like, no way, this is insane. And I was like looking, like pushing, like opening and closing my map, like at like 3-second intervals. And I was looking at all the progress I was making. I was like, no way. I was like, I think I found this super awesome secret that no one knows about. Again, I was going high, high, high. But then I started to peak. And then I started coming down, down, down. And I was like, oh shit. Bang! And I was another wood elf on the floor with a gay yellow hat on and a book and some scrolls. I wasn't a wood elf. I was what is black dudes called? I think they're called Redorians, something like that. I think they're called Redorians. I was playing as those because they had mad sword skills. I think they had like the best longsword skills in the game. Yeah, you can totally get some stupidly crazy stories from Morrowind. Loving Redoran, that was it. Red Guards, that was it. Red Guards, my bad. Red Guards, yeah, man. Oh, I'm gonna. I know, I can feel it, man. I am gonna be playing that game again sometime soon. Oh, I loved Morrowind. It was awesome. And it felt like one of those games. Like, this was before, you know, I was browsing forums online and, you know, being aware of, you know, there was such things as game review sites and stuff like that. I was none the wiser to stuff like that. I just thought I was this one of a handful of people who was aware of this magical game called Morrowind, you know. So when I played it, I completed it, and I was just like, wow. And when I heard someone else play Morrowind, I was like, no way, you play Morrowind too? It was like, yeah, man, but it's really shit. I kept on trying to hit stuff, and all it kept was missing. It was right in front of me, and I just kept missing it. And I was like, yeah, I know, but but then you start to hit stuff afterwards. And he's like, yeah, I couldn't be doing that, so I just like installed it. Yeah, I was like, what? No, no. But now that I look back at it, yeah, there was a lot of stuff you had to work with that game. It wasn't new player friendly at all. So yeah, I can understand that some people may not be too fond of it, you know, because at the beginning, literally, I think they do like a kind of dice roll kind of thing. Like every time you swing your sword, there's a dice roll, and you know when you've got like swordsmanship at 1. You know, you ain't gonna be the best dude at swinging a sword. And instead of representing that, like showing that with, you know, like a poor animation or low damage, instead they just made it as though, okay, because you suck at swords, you're not gonna hit so much. It was like that. If you got that down, it was like, okay, I can work with that. So it'd be like smack, 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 smack for like ages. And then eventually, like, your sword went up by 2, sword went up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's like, oh wow, I'm starting to hit stuff now. And then, you know, went on from there. It was a game that if you got what you put into it, you know. If you put in time and attention, you got a lot out of it. But I think a lot of people just weren't too fond of doing that. You know, they just wanted their progress. They wanted their results, and they wanted it now, which I can understand. I just kind of felt like, you know, the amount I must have logged like easily over 100 hours on that game on my first playthrough. I've only completed it once, you know, and I knew a way to because I think it was like if you do, you can be a master of all the guilds, but I think if you do one before the other, you lock out the ability to become the master of one of the guilds. I think it was like if you do the Fighters Guild first, I think you end up killing the Thieves Guild guild master or something like that. It's something along those lines, and by doing that, that prevents you to become the guild master of the Thieves Guild. So what you need to do is first do the Thieves Guild one. I think it's something like that, and then you can complete the Fighters Guild one. God, I sound like such a faggot talking about this in so much depth. I don't care, I loved it, it was fun. Yeah, see? Oh man, I remember so much stuff about that game because I played it so much. Played it so much, I remember so much about that game. Love it. Yeah, Dark Brotherhood was in the game, but you couldn't join it. Instead, they were coming after you. And that only happened if you had the Tribunal DLC. I think there's a difference between... I don't think it's true to kind of be like, oh, gamers today suck. But I do think that kind of game is a game that gamers in general, as you know, as a generalization, would really struggle to just kind of get, you know? Not really succeeding, but just get. You know, it's like, I don't get it. You know? Because there's just so much, back when, you know, like Dungeons and Dragon kind of games were popular, like, you know, like Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, those kind of things. Planescape Torment, shit, remember that game? Damn. That was another game that I thought, ooh, only I know about this game when I played it as a kid. And Baldur's Gate 2. I thought, wow, what if I always kind of felt like that in games when I felt like, oh wow, I'm one of the few who've stumbled upon this glorious adventure. But of course, the games were probably a lot more popular than I thought they were at the time. Yeah, childhood innocence, totally right. It made the games more fun as well, because I was like, wow, I'm really in this game. I'm flying. I got these spells. Man, I'm trying to get into this box. Yeah, that's the thing nowadays, isn't it? Even though that word kind of gets thrown around in the gaming community as some kind of insult, the word casual. I think it's actually become more of a just a not a genre, but a way of developing games. You know, people want people. I guess the industry in general kind of feels like people don't want a challenge per se. They just want a good story. They just want a pretty game, or something like that. And a lot of people have been saying, no, we do want that. So there's kind of been this, this pride among developers who are like, we don't make casual games. We make, quotation marks, real games for real gamers. I'm just down with whatever. If the game's fun, if I enjoy it, if I love it, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could tear up Morrowind right now. Arguably one of the most, thought-provoking games in terms of conscious actions, like in terms of just leveling and figuring out quest progression and stuff like that. I could easily play that right now. I loved it. I could play that when I was 13, or I could play Plants vs Zombies, where you just kind of just click something and win.